Well, we have some good news. Actually, it's great news because it is part of the coup attack on Trump. This lawlessness, this attack on our constitutional republic, which is comprehensive. They're attacking our Congress. Remember, they tried to overturn the Senate through riot, intimidation, and violence to stop Kavanaugh from being appointed. And then they re-engineered the smears against Kavanaugh to attack the court and intimidate him and threaten him with impeachment. And of course, they've always been trying to impeach the president, and they being the left, the lunatic left, the authoritarian, totalitarian left, undermining our border, destroying our sovereignty. And they erupt again in California, trying to keep President Trump off the ballot through a lawless, unconstitutional requirement, as documented by a federal court judge, requiring that he put out his tax returns. Now, if you believe the liberal media, you would think everyone releases the tax returns who's running for president. And in fact, the law requires it. That's not the case. Not every presidential candidate or president has released their tax returns. I can see why people will be interested in President Trump's tax returns, but the law doesn't require us to force force out this private information. So California, in order to try to get Trump, created this law or passed this law, and Judicial Watch sued to stop it on behalf of voters whose rights were being attacked. The media would have you believe this is Donald Trump that's at issue here. And that's only partly true. It's our Constitution that is at issue here. And it's the voters who are at issue here. It's their right to choose that is at issue here. Versus the deep state coming in and telling us who can be president and who can't be. And if they don't like the president, they're going to destroy him and remove him through illegal means. So the latest iteration of that is this California ballot requirement. And I told you it was either last week or the week before that we won. The court ruled from the bench that he was going to grant a preliminary injunction. Judicial Watch was there. Our attorney Russ Nobile was there representing our clients. There were other lawyers there representing their clients, and of course the president's lawyer was there. And the court's written decision just came out this week, and it ruled, because you always get a preliminary ruling from the court, but unless it's written, you never really know. Well, we got this written decision, and it is great. It is 24 pages, and it's written by Judge Englund, who's a longtime jurist there on the bench in California, and he found that this provision violates the Constitution 4 ways. And I want you to read, I'm going to read something. I may have read this before, but it's worth highlighting. Governor Brown, the former liberal Democratic governor of California, had vetoed an earlier iteration of this law. And this is what Governor Brown said. The court quotes Governor Brown. The bill is in response to President Trump's refusal to release his returns during the last election. While I recognize the political attractiveness, even the merits of getting President Trump's tax returns, I worry about the political perils of individual states seeking to regulate presidential elections in this manner. First, it may not be constitutional. Second, it sets a slippery slope precedent. Today we require tax returns, but what would be next? 5 years of health records? A certified birth certificate? High school report cards? And will these requirements vary depending on which political party is in power? Governor Brown is right. But Gavin Newsom came in and passed this and signed on to this unconstitutional bill, and the court ruled it's unconstitutional in a really powerful, dramatic way. He writes, furthermore, from a practical perspective, allowing individual states to potentially adopt disparate and inconsistent qualifications for presidential primary candidates tramples the framers' vision of having uniform standards for the qualifications of those individuals running for president. Because the court notes that the Constitution sets out what the qualifications are for president. Very limited. There's a residency requirement. You have to be a natural-born citizen. And what's the other requirement? Oh, you have to be 35 years old. So the court, obviously the states can't add to that. Only that can be added to, there's a way to add to those requirements, by the way. It's by amending the Constitution. And the court found that our clients especially were being harmed. And this is important because this goes to what your interests are in the rule of law on this case. He found that the public had, quote, extraordinary interest in ensuring that individual voters may associate for the advancement of political beliefs and cast a vote for their preferred candidate for president. You have a right to vote for the president of your choice, and no one can unconstitutionally thwart that. It was an attack on the integrity of our elections. They were trying to game the elections for 2020. Leftist California politicians, again, in their zeal to attack President Trump, passed this blatantly unconstitutional bill. And the court, as I said, found it was unconstitutional 6 ways to Sunday. And what's going to happen next? The leftist mob running California right now. And this is kind of mob action. They don't care what the rule of law is. They're just going to do what they think they can get away with. They're going to appeal it and waste more money. And this case is going to be thrown out. We're going to win at great time and expense and waste of taxpayer money, but we're going to win. And so it's something to highlight and raise up because we have now a positive court ruling upholding the rule of law against an unconstitutional attack directed at the president that would take away the right to vote for President Trump or other candidates of their choice to tens of millions of American citizens. So good news.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all the latest news from Judicial Watch.